Smackdown Live, coming to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Anyway, 2 days away from Hell in a Cell, where at least these guys had a little bit more rest to recoup. And of course, who comes out, starts the show is The Miz, bragging about how he and his wife have won. And of course, he calls out Daniel Bryan once again. I think this has been going on for a few months now. But he announces that they're going to have another match at the Super Showdown in Melbourne, Australia. And that the winner is going to face the WWE Champion. Now, here's the best part of the writing. It doesn't say that they're going to face AJ Styles. It says they're going to face the WWE Champion. So it could be AJ Styles. It could be Samoa Joe. It could be James Ellsworth for all we know. But at least it says WWE Champion. If you guys didn't hear my complaint about Raw, they set up a match with Roman Reigns 2 months away, and then a championship match, and then they go, okay, well, we're gonna have a championship match that night. So anyway, looks like someone at writing at SmackDown has a halfway decent of how to write a plot. So Daniel Bryan comes down. They have this skirmish where Bryan accidentally hits Maurice, and she's laying on the ground acting like she's dying, of course. Because in wrestling, when you get punched, you always are down for about 20 minutes. But then we find out she was faking. And the whole time, Bryan was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Come on, Bryan. But since she was faking, Miz was trying to do the skull crusher. Daniel gets out of it. And somehow Miz ends up hitting Maurice. And now he's the bad guy. The whole scene was pointless. I think there's a reason why a 2 hour live show feels like it's only like an hour. Because we have skits like this. Let's take up 10-15 minutes of our hard-earned time. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, if you're going to complain about wrestling, why are you watching it? I don't know. There's something about me about having hope. Next, we have Aiden English in the back with Rusev and Lana. And they're talking about the same thing they've been talking about for weeks now. And they leave Aiden behind, and he says something against Lana, only to turn around and lo and behold, Lana's there listening to the whole thing. And she does the typical thing. Oh, I'm gonna go tell. Okay. Next match is actually a decent match between Cesaro and Kofi Kingston. Now I have to say, Kofi Kingston's actually been doing some quality work as of late. And Cesaro, I've really never seen him had a bad match. He's only been underutilized. I mean, 1 minute we see him throwing the Big Show out of a ring, and then he's with Paul Heyman, and then all of a sudden we don't see him at all for a while, and now he's part of Sheamus and the Bar, which is not a bad tag team, but very underutilized as a tag team. They should be in more matches. They should be in bigger storylines. Take them back to Raw. But like I said, this was a decent match between Cesaro and Kofi Kingston. And Cesaro got the win here. But there was nothing against Kofi Kingston. But I'm hoping is there a storyline to go with this, or is this just going to be a one-off match? I have a feeling we're probably going to see some type of offshoot of these matches over the next month or so between somebody from the New Day and somebody from the Bar. And when you have 3 guys on one guy and 2 guys on the other, we can have at least a handful of matches. We can have at least 5 weeks of matches here, and then have a tag team match. So you have at least 6 weeks of matches here, and we'll probably see the same thing over and over. Next, we have Randy Orton bully some peon in the footage, truck in the back that only seems one person works in. And we see the footage of him using the screwdriver on Jeff Hardy's ear. And he goes, well, if you think that's bad, just wait till you see what I do to the next person. Okay. Really don't have a comment on that one. But next we have Shinsuke Nakamura, who's an excellent performer, versus Rusev, another excellent performer, for the United States title. Now, in all honesty, this could actually be the match of the night, but it won't be. And it's kind of hard to watch these two because Shinsuke Nakamura looks like he weighs about 110 pounds. And Rusev looks like he weighs about 300. So, seeing a much smaller guy get the better of a much bigger guy just doesn't look realistic. And my other complaint with Shinsuke Nakamura, because I'm a huge fan of Shinsuke, was his little taunt where he takes his hands and he goes, "Come on!" He seems to do that as soon as the match starts now. Whereas I really liked it, I believe this was when he was first in NXT, or maybe when he was first brought up, is where he would have a match that would last a decent while, and then after his opponent has tried to pin him several times and it doesn't seem to be working, Shinsuke would be like, "Come on, let's go." That'll get the crowd going, and the match, give the match new life. But doing it right at the beginning of the match does nothing. I know, that's me nitpicking, but that's who I am. So anyway, these two are actually having a decent match. With it going back and forth, Shinsuke getting his moves in, Rusev getting his kicks on him, and there were some brutal kicks on Shinsuke Nakamura. And just as Rusev is about to get the upper hand, Aiden English jumps on the ring and goes, "Rusev Crush," which everybody knows that's Lana's line. So Rusev, being, the easily distracted man he is, points out that that's Lana's line to Aiden. And while he does that, Shinsuke is able to roll up Rusev and get the pin. Now, that guy was big and he wasn't knocked out, so he should have easily kicked out of it, but for some reason couldn't. So he's lost again. And Aiden, comes in again to say, wait! Aiden starts beating the crap out of Rusev. Now, we had a feeling this was going to happen, but for it to happen at this point in time, I have to give him points. It caught me off a little bit. I thought it was going to be another week or two. Excuse me. And so, Aiden sings Rusev Day and runs off. So, I don't know, but this might be the official end of Happy Rusev Day. We'll see. My biggest fear is I really like Aiden English since he was with the Vaudevillains. But after this particular program, that's kind of made him relevant. Because before, he really didn't do anything after the Vaudevillains split up. Is what's going to happen after this particular storyline is over with Rusev. What's going to happen to Aiden English? Guess we'll find out. Alright, so next match is a match that I I like but I hate. Simply because its purpose just drives me crazy. We have Andrade Cien Almas once again, I think for the third or fourth time, with a match against AJ Styles. And these two are incredible performers. And it starts off awesome with Andrade beating the holy hell out of AJ before the bell rings. But, considering the finish of Hell in a Cell, the storyline between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe has still to continue. So you really get the feeling that this match is only to set up to continue the rivalry between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and that Cien is just being used as, for lack of a better term, a middleman, a means to an end. So you have an excellent match where, in the end, AJ Styles wins with a very awesome Styles clash. That I don't even know how he. I mean, he rolled him up, rolled him back, and rolled back, and all of a sudden Styles Clash win. Holy crap. That one caught me off guard. It was really cool. But you had an excellent match, tarnished once again by the fact that, one, it did nothing for AJ Styles because he's already an excellent performer. But here we are, Andrade Cien Almas. I think he's lost like 3 or 4 times in a row. He's been in NXT for a couple of months and he's lost more than he's won. And I don't care what anybody says. He's one of the best performers out there. He's as good as Ziggler, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. He is on that level. And they're treating him like crap. I really hope they do something with him because he deserves to be winning matches. He could have some decent matches with a lot of decent performers out there, and within a year or two should have some championship gold around his waist. Oh well, maybe WWE Creative will figure it out. All right, so next we have Asuka versus one of the Iconics. I think it was Billie Kay. In all honesty, I don't remember this match because before I knew it, the match was over. But I thought to myself, if for some reason they had Asuka lose, I just might stop watching the show. Simply because we had Asuka lose so many times to Carmella in such stupid fashions. I mean, we built up Asuka as winning 500, 600 days in a row. She comes to WWE, wins everything, wins the first Women's Royal Rumble. And then she taps out to Charlotte at WrestleMania. And then that was all she wrote. And then we haven't seen her in the past few weeks. And I was like, if they have her lose to one of the Iconics, I'm done. I'm done. But anyway, Asuka won, so I'll be watching again next week. And then last to end the show, we have Becky Lynch's coronation, which I have to admit, I think they're kind of going for Becky Lynch being the heel here. I think they went full hog on making Becky Lynch the bad guy. Because at first you were kind of not sure if she was just an anti-hero or she was just kind of being kind of douchey. But here she went full on, douchebag here. And, she calls out Charlotte Flair. And that they're going to have a rematch. Told you. If you have a championship match and you lose, you get an automatic rematch. So they get a rematch at Super Show in Australia. And Becky was like, hey, I'm the champion here, so you should raise my hand as the champion. Charlotte said, that's alright. She said, alright, that's fine. But then just put the belt around my waist. Since I'm the champion. Charlotte said, that's alright. And so Becky Lynch does one more. She goes, okay, that's fine. Just call me Queen. Hey, Queen. Charlotte was like, okay, really? Let's get this over with. And she's like, nah, that's alright. So of course Becky Lynch has to pull out the, hey, I'm gonna call you a bitch again. Cause that's how, you get everybody to fight you. So Charlotte attacks, and then, Becky gets the upper hand, starts beating the crap out of Charlotte. And once again, the crowd is all over it. So somehow, we're truly trying to make Becky a heel, but the crowd is okay with it. And you know what? I'm okay with it too. So that was the end of the show. And it was basically, one big commercial for, one, the Super Show in Australia coming up, I think, in a week. Two, the Crown Jewel match in Saudi Arabia. And I think there was even a mention of the TLC in December in San Jose, California. So, but you got to see the Super Show. Now remember, it's in Australia, which is, not a couple of time zones away, a whole lot of time zones away. I think for me, it's like 2 a.m. when that show comes out. Will I be up at 2 a.m. watching the Super Show? I don't know, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on Smackdown for September 18th, 2018. Just a blah show. If I were to give it a grade, definitely a C minus, if not a D plus. I stand on my belief that the show after a pay-per-view should be used for the guys that aren't on the shows, just to give them some screen time. And here you have Ty Dillinger, excellent performer. Hell, I don't even remember who's on SmackDown that hasn't been used, because I keep seeing the same guys over and over. I might have to play WWE 2K19 just to remember who's on the rosters. I think that's coming out in October, in a couple of weeks. But I digress. I have too many other things to play before I'll be playing WWE 2K19. But ultimately, I wanted to know your thoughts on SmackDown for this week. Did you like it? Did you not like it? There was no football, but there were other shows on. So if you happen to catch SmackDown, let me know. Post it in the comments below. I like talking to you guys. And if you would like, hit that subscribe button. It always helps out the channel. Helps me grow a little bit. And if you like what I had to say, hit that like button. And if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. That's okay. It helps me grow. Helps me know what you didn't like. But post it in the comments below. I like talking to you guys. Appreciate what you have to say. And until next time, peace.